Hotline Miami 2 was released just a couple of days ago, and basically anybody who's followed the Hotline Miami series probably enjoys the game because it's not a traditional shooter. It's as you can see, it's done in an overhead view perspective, and it's an extremely violent game, as you can probably guess from all the blood already on the ground and, you know, the gibs, the intestines, this, that, and the other. Now, Hotline Miami was one of those, you know, breakthrough titles where basically what they do is they took old school graphics like you'd see on a Nintendo Entertainment System, beefed up the detail using you know, modern computer technology, and basically presented you with like a very high adrenaline shooter. Now, Hotline Miami was a really good game, and it did very well. It's going to do very well on systems like PS Vita and whatnot. And the reason why the game probably has done so well is because it's a very punishing game. If you are basically hit one time, you're basically killed. So what the game is basically about is it's up to you to figure out the best way to go about clearing rooms in a methodical manner so that nobody gets a chance to attack you first. Of course, people will hear and see you, and they will respond to you, so they will ultimately attack you as quickly as they possibly can. Now, Hotline Miami got very good scores. It got like 4 out of 5 or 5 out of 5 from most game reviewers, and most people enjoyed the gameplay. The problem with Hotline Miami 2, however, is that although it, you know, retains a good soundtrack, and although it retains pretty much everything that made Hotline Miami a good game, the problem is it reaches way too far and it makes these maps entirely too big. The problem with the game is that enemies who are across the screen, out of your view, can shoot at you, hit you, and kill you even if you've never seen them. So, because the enemies move extremely quickly, as you just saw, he just got shot really quickly. As the enemies move extremely quickly, they can open fire on you, and you can get hit by bullets that you never saw the source of. So that means that if you walk into a room, because of the size of these rooms, you can be shot at, you can be killed, and you never ever see the assailant who's shooting at you. That means that because of the new scale of these rooms, it's not as fun to clear the rooms because you, in many cases, don't know where the threat is coming from. So this ultimately makes the game not as fun because eventually you will figure out the limitations of the computer. When you do figure out the limitations of the computer, what you'll do is end up camping out in a corner and trying to attract people towards you. When you attract people towards you, they will run at you top speed and you can just gun them down. The problem is it feels like cheating and it's not as fun because what you really wanted was you wanted the same thing you got in Hotline Miami. You want to be able to you want to be able to methodically figure out the best way to clear rooms. The stealth aspect, where you use melee weapons instead of guns, since guns sounds attract people. Well, the stealth aspect here is pretty much gone because now everybody knows you're coming, and now they move so quickly until you really have no chance to defend yourself. So Hotline Miami 2 looks great, but because of the fact that they reached a little too far, it's probably not going to get as high scores from most game reviewers. On the horizon, we have the game Hatred, which is coming soon. Hatred and Hotline Miami are basically the same game. The only difference is Hotline Miami has taken a cartoonish violence path, wherein Hatred has not only taken a darker, more sinister tone, but the monologues of the main antagonist, or the protagonist, however you want to see him, the monologues have taken a very angry and a very hateful tone, which is the reason why the game is already getting major criticism, and it probably will get a lot more when it finally does come out. However, this is what I expect out of a game when you're going for the type of shooter Hotline Miami is. And this is basically the exact same type of game. So I'm waiting for this, and I'm definitely going to buy it.